Japanese suicide subs, or Kaiten, with the literal translation being turn the heaven or the heaven shaker. They were literal crude torpedoes used by the Imperial Japanese Navy during the end stages of the Second World War. Times were getting desperate and they were willing to try almost anything to gain the advantage in the war. Proposals for human torpedoes were made in 1943 and were approved in early 1944. The original designers, Lieutenant Hiroshi Kuroki and co-creator Sekio Nishina, would both die at the controls of their early prototypes. Hiroshi was killed inside his Kaiten during a training exercise in 1944, while Sekio was blown out of the water during his Kaiten attack on the USS Mississinewa. The initial design Kaiten Type 1 was converted from a 24-inch Type 93 torpedo. A new 39-inch forward section containing the warhead, additional fuel, oxygen tanks, and the pilot's compartment was grafted to the torpedo's middle and after sections, producing an overall length of just over 48 feet. Speed could be varied from 12 knots, giving a range of some 85,000 yards, to 30 knots and a range of about 25,000 yards. For guidance, the pilot had a short periscope. The Kaiten's immense 3,400-pound explosive warhead was more than 3 times the size of the Type 93 torpedo's original warhead and was capable of producing catastrophic damage in the target ship. The first models were designed so that the hatch could be opened once the course was set so that the pilots may escape the vessel. However, there has been no recorded attempts to do so by the pilots. Later on, the hatch would be modified that upon entry and departure for the mission, the hatch could no longer be opened from the inside, along with fitting a self-destruct control system should the attack fail or the impact fuse fail to go off. 6 different design types would present themselves throughout its development. However, only 4 were ever significant enough to be noted by the American technical missions to post-war Japan, and only the Type 1 Kaiten was ever deployed operationally. A total of 420 of these suicide vessels were produced during the war, with 300 of them being the Type 1. All pilots of the Kaiten were men aged from 17 to 28. The training for these crafts consisted of basic fast sailing using periscopes, then on to advanced training with dangerous maneuvers, with courses through deep rock passages, and then moving on to open water large ship attacks, usually done at full attack speeds. The training was dangerous, with a reported 15 deaths from training alone. Most incidents being from accidents and trauma from significant ramming speeds, often severely injuring the pilot. Prior to going on to their sad mission though, a Kaiten pilot would often leave behind messages and mementos to their loved ones. During deployment, a Kaiten could be launched from a surface boat or more commonly from a larger submarine under the water. In the end, there was only 2 ships that were sunk by Japanese Kaiten, the USS Mississinewa and the USS Underhill. These 2 incidents are the only confirmed successful Kaiten attacks, although some Japanese sources list higher numbers.